Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Dr. Lindsay Banks, and I'm owner of Healthy Motives 365, where I help women eliminate the habits that can lead to chronic disease so they can live their best life and fulfill their purpose. This evening is the last part of a three-part series where I will be interviewing female entrepreneurs who I truly believe demonstrate what it is to live their best life. They're entrepreneurs, they have families, they are chasing their dreams, but not at the expense of their health. Excuse me. Tonight's theme is all about restoring your body. We will be discussing the importance of clean beauty products to restore and maintain your health. So tonight, I'm always excited, but I'm super excited because I am interviewing my friend, Michelle Robinson. And so I'll read her bio and then we'll get started. So Michelle is the founder and CEO of DEMIBlue Natural Nails and creator of DEMIBlue 21 Free Clean Nail Polish brand. She has serviced the healthcare and education industries for over 18 years. Inspired by her cancer surviving mom and her mom's healing journey, DEMIBlue was created. What started as a desire to help her mom through the creation of this personal nail polish brand, DEMIBlue is now disrupting the nail care industry by educating women of these toxic chemicals and offering a better, healthier choice. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
I'm excited to have you. So I always got to, every time I do anything with Michelle, I always got to give people like our history. I've been knowing Michelle, I think it's been like 12 years. I think it was 2010, I think, when I met you.
Yes.
2010. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
For those of you who know me, who know that I'm in higher education, Michelle was actually, I always tell the story, the woman who I met, and she gave me my very first teaching opportunity. So I always tell her, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, because she gave me the opportunity to get into education. So that's how far we go back. So it's been a while. So I'm super excited, and I've seen her grow as a person, as an entrepreneur, and I'm just super proud of you. So I just want you to know
that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I probably have hired so many doctors and nurses and chiropractors and over the last 12, 13 years. And
yeah.
So yeah.
you the thing about it is, when you hired me, I had no experience as far as teaching. You saw me like at a health fair and you was like, oh, you look like you know what you're talking about, and you gave me the opportunity.
Yes. I walked up to you at an event, and you and Dr. Andrea
at
a table, and you guys were teaching people about the spinal cord and about chiropractic care. And I heard you guys with all of your descriptions, and I walked up to you and said, "Are you interested in teaching?" You was like, "I've never taught before," and I was like, "I'll train you. You'll be fine." And you were dynamic, and I loved every bit of it.
I mean, that day I went home and dusted my resume off so quick and sent it to you. I was like, here you go. I was ready, but that was just like, that was God sent. That's all that was.
Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started with our interview. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to start DEMIBlue.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, I had been in healthcare. I had been in healthcare for over 11 years. I started out working at BJC, transitioned over to Washington University, had been doing clinical administration for over 11 years. Then I transitioned into education, where I started to teach and groom individuals to teach in the proprietary sector. And so it was almost like a life cycle of events that happened to get me into the entrepreneur space, because, once my mom was diagnosed with cancer, I was able to follow along with those physicians on some of the information that they were telling her, and kind of being that in-between person, so that she knew what was going on and she could understand the verbiage. And I remember her coming up the stairs in my home one day, and I asked her why aren't you wearing nail polish? Because I know my mom likes to wear nail polish. Like, why aren't you wearing nail polish? And she was like, well, I can't. The chemicals are too strong. They burn my nails. I'm sensitive. She just gave me all these reasons why she couldn't wear nail polish. And it was like a light bulb went off in my head. And I'm like, I know this stuff. Like, I know the chemical components of, once I read the ingredients in conventional nail polish, like I know these chemical components and I know how they impact the body. And I used to teach this stuff and I used to write, this content for books, and I know it. I should do something. And so it just started there.
Wow, that's amazing. And the cool thing about it is there are a lot of individuals who, when they get sick, they don't have a family member that's even fluent in medical terminology. So that was awesome that you were able to be that person for your mom. And then also on top of that, you realize that, okay, this is something that my mom enjoys doing. She loves to, wear her nail polish, and she's not able to. And so you took that, with the why behind wanting to help your mom with your combination of experience and education to create a brand. So I think that's awesome.
Yes.
So one thing that, and honestly, personally, within the last few years, even as a chiropractor and a health and wellness professional, for years, I didn't realize how many chemicals and toxins were in not only nail polish, but all of our beauty products and our personal care products, the things that we put on our skin, which is our largest organ. And so we absorbed all those things. So can you tell us how important it is to use clean beauty products?
Yeah, more so now than ever before, we are living in a more health conscious environment. And we're recognizing that a lot of the ailments that we sometimes suffer from are preventable, right? Just by maybe reducing our exposure to certain environments and certain foods. And now we're looking into our cosmetics because we know almost everything that we use has some form of chemical, right? But now we're looking at what is it in these products? What are the chemicals that are in these products? And, why are they causing certain, things to happen? Sometimes we have headaches. We don't know that it's being caused by the products we use. Sometimes, we have allergic reactions, or we have runny eyes or itchy skin or whatever. And we're not sure where these reactions are coming from. And like I mentioned, more and more, we're looking at the things that we're using. We're looking at our environment, the things that we're eating, and finding that a lot of the chemicals that are in our cosmetics are causing ailments that we can prevent, right? And so the purpose of really taking a dive into clean cosmetics or natural cosmetics is eliminating those well-known chemicals, those toxins that have been found in a lot of our conventional products that we know have been linked to cancers and developmental defects and allergies and things like that. And really eliminating those from our routines and seeing that now we don't have those headaches that we used to have, or now we don't have those skin irritations. And now we understand reading the labels of our cosmetics can help us maybe alleviate some of the issues that are caused by using those toxic chemicals. So it was important, first of all, for my mom, because as a cancer survivor, and for the overall purpose of making sure her remission plan is a good one, we had to take a look at what is it that she's using, what is it in the nail polish, the makeup, or the things that we're eating, whatever, that could cause or could be linked to cancers, and how can we eliminate that from her routine and give her a safer product. And that's kind of how DEMIBlue was born. It was a call to action. It was a light bulb moment. Like I said, the circle of life just kind of came back around and said, hey, you know about this stuff and you can do something about it. And we did.
Yeah, so it's about being proactive, because a lot of people think about, okay, reading their food labels, but a lot of people never think about really paying attention to the ingredients that are in their personal care products. Absolutely. And I'm not saying that to condemn anybody, because like I said, even as a chiropractor, it's been like probably about 4 or 5 years now that I've been really cognizant on paying attention to those things. Like I said before, a lot of personal care products, and that includes things like your soap, lotion, deodorant, beauty products, they all contain certain chemicals, and they affect the way that your body functions. And whenever you get exposed to these chemicals, they can lead, like Michelle said, they can lead to a number of different health problems. They can even cause you to gain weight, hypothyroidism. Some women have infertility problems. And one of the big things that I notice is estrogen dominance is when these hormones mimic your estrogen.
Yeah.
And then that can lead to really, really bad PMS symptoms. So if you're somebody that has really bad PMS and you bloat and you have cramps and headaches and all these things, then one of the things that you may want to look at is some of the care products that you're using or the cosmetics, because again, those things affect your hormones.
Yeah.
I know when I started really paying attention to that stuff and eliminating and swapping things out and even limiting my alcohol intake right before, during that cycle, right before my cycle, I noticed that I was able to alleviate bloating and cramping and all that other stuff. And it was simply because I paid attention to that stuff and eliminated it, you know?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. A lot of hormone disruptors are in some of the conventional products that we use. So we are wondering why, you know, maybe we are having extreme PMS symptoms. Maybe we are having cramping. And not knowing that the plastics that, you know, a lot of the plastics that we're using are hormone disruptors. And the reason why we decided to use a glass bottle is because it does not have, you know, those certain chemicals that are offset by plastics. You know, why we're not using formaldehydes or things that we know have been linked to cancers, chemicals that have been linked to cancers, because it's important. You know, it's important that we can identify, right, what's in our products and make better choices.
And I know some people, I talk about detoxification, and I know some people say, well, we have, you know, functions in the body that allow us to detoxify. And that is very true. But the thing about it is we get so overwhelmed and bombarded by all the chemicals that are in our environment, from what we eat, what we drink, even walking outside and just inhaling the air. We get exposed to these chemicals. And that's why it's important to think about these things. And not to say that, you know, it's going to be possible for you to eliminate every single thing, because it's impossible. But again, just to be a little bit more conscious and self-aware about those things so you can, you know, lower your toxic load.
Absolutely.
All right. So you briefly kind of started to talk about this a little bit, but what is the difference between your nail polish and other brands?
So our nail polish is now a clean cosmetic, which means that we've eliminated those hormone disruptors. It's 21 free. So we have eliminated 21 toxic chemicals that could be linked to cancers and developmental defects, 21. Right?
21 nail polish.
I'm sorry?
I said 21 chemicals.
21 free. Believe it or not, nail polishes have so many chemical components that make it what it is, right? Now, we didn't eliminate the chemicals. We eliminated those harsh chemicals, those toxic chemicals, right? Because we still need some form of chemical to make the product what it is. But we've identified those that are the most toxic, and we've eliminated them and replaced them with better chemicals. So it's 21 free. It's still vegan friendly. Our product is recyclable. So it comes in a glass recyclable bottle. It's cruelty free, so it's not been tested on animals. We don't have any animal derivatives in our products. It's still a vibrant brand. The colors are still vibrant and long lasting. And, you know, I think that really sums up for me why we are the better brand, right? Because we've really taken, over the last 3 years, we've taken several steps to ensure that we're offering the most healthiest product that we can. When we first started, our products were 7 free, right? Because we were just getting started. We eliminated what we knew at that time. Right. And then we continued to research, and then we offered a 10 free product, right? And now we're able to offer a 21 free, vegan friendly, clean nail polish brand. We've been certified as a clean nail polish brand. So I'm excited about that.
And for those of you who, like, for example, a lot of people don't know this either. If you go to the nail salon, you can take your own nail polish. Like you can take it in there, and like if you say, okay, I'll go to the nail salon, take your nail polish with you and have them use your DEMIBlue clean.
Yes, and you don't have to worry about someone else's toes being on your nail polish brush, somebody else's nails, someone fungus probably being on your nail polish brush. And listen, I know a lot of fears in using regular nail polish. is that it chips fast. But I tell people our nail polish is quality and it's comparable to gels. It is long lasting. And the caveat to that is, hey, if you experience any chipping, you have your own nail polish that you can reapply. And it's yours, and you don't have to worry about cross contamination.
And I can attest to that. And I'm not saying it's just because Michelle's my friend. I don't I don't paint my nails very often, but now when I do use your product, and it does last a while. And I'm constantly washing my hands as a healthcare provider. And so, it does last, a long time versus like the regular nail polish that you would get. It'll chip quicker,
Yeah, like, and there's a process.
Touch it up. So
yeah, and there's a process to it. One of the things that I teach people about using nail polish, but specifically my nail polish, is that there is a process. There is a system, right? So a lot of times you put on nail polish, you put nail polish on your natural nail, and it chips in a couple days, and you're like, oh my God, my nail polish don't last. I don't use it. I'm going to get gel, right? But there is a system. You want to first make sure that your nail beds are clean and oil free, right? And then you want to apply your base coat. So the base coat is like, it's a primer. It's just like if you paint your door or you paint furniture, you want to put a primer on to make sure that paint doesn't just come off. So you want to protect your nail bed with that primer too, because a lot of conventional nail polishes turn the nail beds a yellowish discoloration. And so the primer is there to allow the nail to breathe, to allow the nail to protect the nail from discoloration, and to be a base or a primer for the color. And then once you put the color on, of course, you don't, more color doesn't mean long lasting, right? Just 2 coats. That's all you need. And then protect your nail with the top coat, right? The top coat not only gives it a shine, it has a purpose. It's a sealer, right? It helps to secure the nail polish in place. It gives it the shine, and it helps protect the nail polish.
Yeah, and I use the system because I think I bought the package with the I got my Christmas ornament too that I got.
Yeah, so we do have a couple different systems. We've got our 3-step system, which is the base, the nail polish, and the top coat. But we do have a starter kit that has everything, right? Nail strengtheners, base coats, top coats, nail polish, and our soy-based nail polish remover. So for those of you guys who are wondering, well, I take my nail polish off and my nails are dry and they crack and they're brittle, that's because you're using regular nail polish. It has acetone and or alcohol, and they strip the nail of their natural moistures, and our soy-based nail polish doesn't have acetone, so it helps restore the moisture.
And then you also, I think you just launched, didn't you? You have a kids line now, right? For the baby.
I do. I have DEMIBlue for girls. So we have 14 nail polish colors available for little girls now, right? Because our little girls are using nail polish, right? Here's one thing I hate to see. And this was even before I got into the nail polish business, but I hate to see little girls putting their hands in that UV light at the nail salon. Oh my God, that burns me up. It burns me up. But anyway, that's personal. But yeah, our nail polish doesn't require the use of UV lights or UV energy, right? It dries really quick, and it does not have all that toxic chemicals in it. So little girls, can have a safe product for them as well. And the bottles are tiny. I wish I had a bottle right here in front of me. But the bottles are small enough for little girls as young as 3 years old to paint their own little nails, I just thought that was really cool. I wanted to make sure that my granddaughter, who is into nail polishes now, has a healthier nail polish for herself, right? And for her little friends, and why not extend that to the community?
And that's super important, because as little babies and girls, we're all, the chemicals can affect all of us, but they're still developing, they're still growing. So at that point, it's important for you, like if you like to paint your baby girl's nails, to make sure that you're using a healthier option, because a lot of people think about like our genetics and certain things run in the family, but in reality, a lot of the diseases that we develop, is resulted from our environment, the things that we're exposed to, because our environment has the ability to turn on and turn off our genes and things of that nature. So what we're eating, what we're putting on our body. So all of those things affect your genes. So that's one more thing that you want to think about as far as again, your personal care products, your beauty products, and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Okay. So as a business owner, some people, like, they have a difficult time being motivated, and they're not a business owner. But on top of that, you're running a business, okay? And you got a family and things. So how do you stay motivated when things get hard?
Because things do get hard, right? I have days as a business owner where I feel defeated. I have days as a business owner where I feel like my product isn't reaching who it needs to reach. I sometimes have days where I'm like, man, I didn't get as many sales today as I did yesterday. And I struggle with that. But, ultimately I remind myself of the purpose, right? Because we're going to have good days and we're going to have bad days, but what's the overall goal? What am I trying to accomplish with this nail polish brand? And it's not just about making sales. It's about educating my community who are underserved, who are targeted in the cosmetic industry, who aren't educated, and who necessarily don't have access to healthier products at the price points that make sense to us. And so I think about, that as I move forward in my business. What is my purpose? What is my ultimate goal? And how can I make an impact? I've always kind of been impact driven, right? Even in my professional career, I've always wanted to make an impact and leave this sort of legacy. And so I just remember that every day that I am in my business, there's a purpose behind it, and people need my product. And why not me, right? Why not me? Why can't I be in big brand retail stores like some of the others? Why can't DEMIBlue be a staple in the cosmetic industry? Why can't we be a household name? Why not us? And so I just work really hard to make sure that we get that opportunity.
And one important thing that you said is that you have a purpose behind your brand. You have a why, and you have to have a why. And we kind of talked about this before we got on here, but you have to have a why behind anything that you do. So for those of you who say, well, I'm not a business owner, well, you want to still have your health. So you have to have a why behind why you want to be healthy, Yes. So really focusing on that and using that to keep you motivated. And when things get hard and you're tired, keep that in your mind, because that's going to give you the energy that you want to keep going. Like I was talking to my husband about, like, sometimes I get tired, promoting people, trying to educate people on being healthy, but the thing about it is I'm so passionate about it. Even the days when I get tired, then I'm like, well, why am I doing this? I'm doing this even for my own health. It helps keep me on track while I'm keeping everybody else on track.
Yes. And another thing, you spoke about being proactive. A lot of the times I get that question, are you a breast cancer survivor, or are you? And no, it doesn't take something to happen to us for us to get serious about our health. Now, unfortunately, it took my mom's cancer for me to take a look at what we were using a little bit deeper and say, hey, we need to look at these cosmetics. We need to look at, what we're eating more so. Unfortunately, it took my mom's experience for me to really look deeper into that. But you don't have to have survived something to make a change in your life. You can be a proactive survivor. Right?
A
proactive survivor. I'm a proactive survivor. I've not had breast cancer. We're, 1 in 8 women in the African American community, still will be diagnosed with breast cancer. And, sitting in a room of 10 other women, it could be any of us, right? And so I just wanted to make sure that I was taking the necessary steps to help my mom, to be a proactive survivor, and to also help my family and my community, right? Because again, we are targeted in the cosmetic industry. We're highly targeted. We just don't have the resources or the education to make better decisions. And I just want to be a champion for that.
And you are, and you're doing an awesome job at it. Thank you. And I also believe that in our community, kind of just to follow up off of that, that a lot of times we're more reactive when it comes to our health. So it's not until like we get sick or something happens, but it's so much easier to prevent and maintain your health versus trying to get it back after you've developed a condition.
Yeah.
And research shows that as African American women, actually, when we develop breast cancer, it's more aggressive.
Yes.
Because a lot of times it's found a little later because, again, we may not be doing the prevention things where we go get our mammograms or, our annual screening. And a lot of that has to do with certain things, that sometimes it is beyond our control when it comes to healthcare, quality healthcare, and things of that nature.
Right.
But again, there are things that we could do to be proactive. We have the choice about what types of products that we put on our bodies, and thinking about supporting somebody like Michelle, a smaller brand, but she's, helping our community out as well. She cares, versus some of the bigger brands that, not to say that they didn't start off caring, but helping somebody and knowing that you have somebody that is doing this because they want to educate their own community and for all of us to be healthier and still be beautiful and cute,
Yeah, absolutely. And I say this a lot. I when people say, well, how do you compete, or how does your brand stand against some of the larger brands? And I can say that we're accessible, right? You can email me, you can reach out to me. I'll educate you. I'll tell you what I know about nail polish. I have this little slogan that says, ask me about nail polish. I'll tell you what I know. And I'll share my journey with you, and, what I can to make sure that, we stay motivated as business owners. And I think the accessibility is key in business, no matter what size, in the very beginning or when you get to, big box change, there's still a level of accessibility that needs to be there. And a lot of brand owners aren't accessible. There's not a lot of education on those websites they talk about the nail polish, and they talk about how you can buy it, and they give you a description, but there's no real education, right, behind the nail polish and how to have a healthier nail, right, a healthy natural nail. And so we do that through our blog, and we do that through our email campaigns, and through our Instagram. We just really try to be accessible.
Okay. So now I kind of want to follow up off of the motivation question. And again, as a business owner and, as a busy woman, what are some things that you do to help restore your energy? Because we can't always be work. You got to do things to help restore. And that's important in helping to maintain your health as well. So what are some things that you do to help restore yourself?
So I definitely unplug. I'm doing a better job in 2022 than I did in 2021. In 2021, I focused on some self-care, but I kind of fell off a little bit because the business just kind of took over. But I am making a more intentional effort to get back to unplugging and taking that self-care time that we need to rejuvenate. On Sundays, I do a whole day, right? It's a whole day. I give myself a facial, sometimes I'll touch up my nails, my toes. I cook something really good for myself. I watch great TV. I have a sauna now. And so I sit in the infrared sauna now. I'll start to do that on Sundays. My bubble baths, my candles, my music. I just really unplug and take the whole day to recharge. Take little cat naps on the couch. Those are important. It is really important. And I don't do anything DEMIBlue. Like I don't do anything DEMIBlue on Sunday. So it's a matter of doing that too, to ensure you don't get burnout, because you can get burnt out in your business just like you would at a job.
Mm-hmm. Even more so because you on 24/7. There is no clocking out DEMIBlue.
Absolutely. And then in the mornings, before I do absolutely anything, well, I use the restroom first, but after I use the restroom, I get on my knees. I read scripture, and I read the Bible, and I have a conversation with God, and we set the plan for the day, and then I go from there. I don't jump on social media first. I don't take phone calls. I don't do anything until I've had that conversation. And so I think that sets the tone of my day. It gives me the motivation that I need, the reassurance that I need. And so, yeah, that's important for me.
And that's one thing that every single entrepreneur that I interviewed said the same thing, that when they first get up, they're praying, they're doing their meditations, but they're not looking at their phone, they're not jumping on social media. And that's one thing that I've incorporated too, that because it immediately puts you in a space where you're reacting and you're distracted, and it sets the tone for your day, because you can be perfectly fine and you'll see something on social media that are just skin that'll bother you, and now that sets the tone for your day. So instead of starting your day like that, be very strategic about what you do in the morning and develop a morning routine. I even have a bedtime routine as well. And then on Sundays, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now, I don't do any type of, again, work on Sundays, but social media, I don't even get on social media on Sunday. I take that day just to kind of just relax my mind, because again, you're always reacting and looking and go, and then you can go down the hole sometimes, So I just get off and don't even get back on until like the next day. So okay. So I do have one more question. So where can people learn more about you and your business?
Man, listen, I'm so excited. We are just expanding. But you definitely can check out everything DEMIBlue on our website at DEMIBlueNaturalNails.com, right? You definitely can follow us on social media, right? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter is at DEMIBlueNN. But subscribe to our mailing list, man. I promise you, we don't send emails every 5 minutes, right?
I hate when people do that.
We send intentional emails every week. They're very intentional. They're educational. They give you a link to our blog. They tell you what's new with DEMIBlue. We share a little bit of inspiration. It is a very intentional email. So definitely when you go onto our website, there's a little pop-up that says you subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Become a member, because we have member-only deals. So our members get big discounts on products. Our members get first peek at new colors. Maybe if we're having some type of campaign, they get first dibs. They get to be a part of naming our colors when we have those name the color events. Our members really get a lot. And then we also have a rewards program, right? So if you purchase something from us and you create an account, right? You don't have to put your credit card information in or anything like that. You just create an account. You are automatically enrolled in our rewards program. So when you buy, you earn rewards, and you can use those rewards to shop. So we have a lot going on, and we're very interactive. You can chat with us live online. So if you have a question at a reasonable time, right? We will chat. We will chat live with you. I'm gonna give you my red interpretation, my office hours, or 9. No, but within reasonable hours, we'll chat live with you. So you can jump on our website, hit that chat box. We'll chat live with you, right? There's definitely ways that you can get in touch with us and stay abreast to what we're doing, but mostly through social media and our website.
So if you are watching this or you catch the replay, be sure to check out our website, join the email list so you can get educated on how all the different things that they have, and follow her also on social media, right?
Yes, and currently I am looking for hand models. I have an event, a photo shoot coming up, and I'm looking to revamp my website. And so I'm looking for hand models that they can find that on they can find that information on social media right now, and they can apply for an opportunity to represent DEMIBlue as a hand model.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, first of all, Michelle, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedules to eat. I know people like to, detach and relax in the evening, so I appreciate you And I didn't even think about it. Happy MLK Day to everyone.
I know, right? Happy MLK Day. Thank you.
All right, everyone. So thank you all for tuning in. And if you're just joining us, be sure to check out the replay. If you haven't done so, be sure to also follow Healthy Motives 365 on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also join my Facebook group, Journey to Wellbeing, which is community designed to help inspire, motivate, and support each other on the journey to well-being. And until next time, find health in every day. Good night, everyone.
Good night.